Welcome back, and thanks for joining us today. Last time we talked about follow-up, how staying consistent and reconnecting with purpose can turn a no into a not yet. Today we're moving past follow-up and into something deeper, trust. Because in this business, skills is what gets you started, but trust is what keeps you going. So when you look at agents who, are building these long-term, pretty stable careers, trust seems to be the thing that they all have in common. Why is trust so foundational in this industry?
It goes beyond this industry. I think it's just part of human relationships. And if you look at the connection between an agent and a potential client as a relationship, trust is important because it's a personal decision that someone has to make. And any personal decision, you need to feel comfortable with the other person if there is some transactional thing that's happening. And trust is the thing that allows that individual to feel comfortable enough to move forward.
Right.
I would even just say that, within this specific industry, that trust is the admission. You need to have that in order to really be successful.
If trust is the foundation, what actually builds it? What, are clients picking up on, or prospective clients, what are they picking up on that helps make them, feel safe working with an agent and, willing to open up?
I'll list a few. Being authentic, sharing some level of empathy, being there consistently for them, so being reliable, and as we just talked about, trust.
Right.
And in order for them to trust you, it's not this thing that you say, you need to trust me. You need to show them
Exactly.
through your actions, and out of that, trust will happen.
Right.
What I will say, however, is just think of this as a relationship. And with any relationship that you want to develop and you want it to persist long term, you need to be authentic in how you're interacting with the person. You need to be empathetic. And if you can show some level of reliability that you will always be there for them, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
So instead of transactionally, if you think of it more like that as a relationship and you develop it like you will your own personal relationships, you will see higher success.
Yeah, I feel like, trust might come in, some of more of those, tiny moments. So what are some simple habits that you think could help agents build trust over time?
Being consistent, follow up with them, and connect with them on things that are more personal. It's not always about the transaction, right? If you create and develop that relationship and there is trust over time, it will happen. It's unfortunate in this business. I'll say one of the things I've seen is if they get a no, they take it as a permanent right now. And they want to close that deal straight away rather than having a pipeline of potential leads that you can hone and develop those relationships, and over time they will funnel through and be converted into. So I would also say, and someone mentioned this recently, just as you're having conversations and they make these personal statements, just make a note or two about some things. And then the next time you speak to them, you can bring up the topic, bring up the point, so that they know that you are actually listening and hearing and connecting with them. So those are some of the things that I would
And it
offer.
seems like that, keeps things very personal and tailored to that individual. When clients are deciding whether they actually, trust someone, what do you think that they notice first? Is it the words that someone is saying to them, the tone that you use, or maybe, just your overall presence?
Most of the conversations that are happening are through the phone, and because of that, they don't see you.
Right.
So the first thing is they hear you. They hear what you say, and they hear the way that you say it.
Right.
And those are the two things I would say would be important that will help in the area of trusting within this type of communication channel, phone. And what I would say is just use the language that you would with anyone you want to develop a long-term relationship with. Use the tone that is comforting, it's comfortable, that again you would want to use in any long-term relationship
Right.
that you're trying to.
Right.
So those are the two things. I would say the tone and the
Yeah. Makes
the
sense.
actual words that are being said. Be mindful of them. Yeah.
It kind of seems like you've touched a little bit about listening and kind of the art of like engaging with someone. What does good listening look like in a prospective client conversation?
I, it's something that I do in a lot of my conversations. Giving that individual space to share what it is that they want to share. So if you ask a question, for me, it's allowing that person to provide the answer. And listening to the answer allows you then to provide follow-up questions.
Right.
One thing for me, however, is to ensure that my interpretation of what was said is understood by me and that we are in alignment.
Right.
I use the technique of playing back. So I will say, okay, so let me just make sure I get what you're saying. And I say it in my own words and ask them to see if that aligns with what
Right.
the point that they were making.
How can agents support a client's concerns without rushing them into a decision?
I think there are a couple of things. It's the mind. One is the mindset that agents go into some of these conversations with, thinking that if they don't close on this transaction now, it will never happen. Right? So the inexperienced agent is likely to want to convince that individual that they should go ahead and sign that policy, get that policy. What happens at times is they will do so and then they will have the whole term buyer's remorse. So within a very short period of time, they cancel the policy. It hits that producer, that agent's persistency score. So that's not a good thing. For me, goes back to a couple of the things that we had talked about previously. One of them is being empathetic, and then allowing them to understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable and not be sure right now, but also that they can come back at some point in the future and follow up with that potential client who may now have settled in on some of the concerns, or with more knowledge, the agent can then provide more insightful and reassuring information to them. So I would just encourage them to be empathetic and say, okay, I get it, I understand it, some of the concerns that you have. Let's just, for now, table it.
Yeah.
Allow you just to let it marinate for a bit, and then let's come back in a week or two and have the conversation again. And if you still have those concerns, I can certainly help assist you navigating it.
Yeah, so space really seems like it actually is key. As agents move past, the first few months and they start gaining traction, what role does trust play in retention and referrals?
It is foundational to retaining and then referrals. Retaining, one of the things I, have seeing in the industry is, and I've heard the term lead junkies, where agents, they go ahead and have one policy that's written and they go on to the next lead and they go on to the next. And those, their book of business, all of the policies, all the clients that they have, they do not do much follow up and checking in. And there are a couple of things that happens there. One is just maintaining the trust, right? And when you trust someone, they're willing to share more information with you.
Right.
And studies have shown that over the life cycle, the lifespan of an individual, there will be some number of opportunities where more coverage is needed. Right? It could be marriage, it could be birth, it could be promotion, it could be acquisition of a home, and so on and so forth. Right? Life-changing events.
Right.
If they don't trust you, and you're not, following up and checking in and reassuring and understanding where they are in their life's journey,
Right.
you'll never know about those things. And those are potential business opportunities that would be missed.
Right.
Second is, if I don't trust you, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to refer you to one of my close friends or relatives, period.
Right.
So it's critically important to maintain your business and to grow it. Trust is fundamental.
Yeah. For someone who's still, early in their career and maybe hasn't built many relationships yet, what's one simple action that you think they could, start this week to help strengthen that trust with their clients or, prospective clients?
Now, may be challenging in one aspect because of the system that's in place, where you hit one lead and you go on to the next, and you may not remember. But if they can go back into the list of most recent potential clients that they've contacted and actually spoken with, go back and make some notes about some of the personal items and points that they mentioned in those discussions, and specific challenges or reasons why they may not have been in, right now isn't a good point.
Right.
That's one. And then in about a week's time, go back and follow up with those individuals. And when you connect with them, find a way to weave in those personal points that you had documented. Again, this is all about doing things to create trust. And after some time, trust will likely then allow you to move forward into that individual becoming a potential client.
If you could leave new agents with one guiding principle about building relationships, what would it be?
Rome was not built in a day. Trust will not be built in a day. I see a lot of agents losing financially because they see a potential client saying no as a final and not as not yet, as you had stated initially. So for me, it's to understand that trust takes time. It may be 3, 4, 5 times that you have to reach out and connect with. And once that individual feels comfortable with you, then there is a possibility that that can convert into a client. So what I would say is, don't give up, but also don't think that trust is going to happen immediately.
Yeah, I think that is such a powerful message. Trust isn't complicated. It's built through empathy, presence, and reliability. Next time, we're closing out this series with a conversation that brings everything full circle: support, community, and your next steps. We'll talk about mentorship, growth, and how to find the support you need long after the early challenges. You won't want to miss it. We will see you then.